All right, let's learn how to make a popcorn flower arrangement. You'll need 2 stems of baby's breath, or you could use blue thistle, 3 leather leaf, 3 solidago, 5 carnations, and 3 roses. You're going to take a brick of floral foam, and you only need 1/3, so you're going to cut that third off. Then you're going to take your brick and put it down into some preservative water and let it soak while we're prepping our flowers. First, you're going to take a piece of floral wire, cut it in half. You need to do that twice. Take your rose stripper and strip the petals and thorns off your roses. Double check and make sure you got all the thorns. If not, you can use your knife to cut them out. Next, you are going to remove the guard petals and any damaged petals just to make the rose look a little bit nicer. They leave them on for shipping so it doesn't damage the rose. Now you're going to take your floral wire, insert into the calyx of the rose, and just slightly twist your stem. It does not have to spiral. For the carnations, you're going to remove the leaves. You don't have to do this the whole way down the stem because we're going to cut half of it off. You also want to take your knife and just use it to peel any floral or leaf material off of those nodes. Take your snips and snip smaller pieces of baby's breath. Then for your leather leaf, you want to make what I call bat wings. So at the bottom of each leaf or each piece of leather leaf, you have 2 leaflets that are opposite of one another. You can usually get 3 sets of bat wings on each stem of leather leaf, then we just leave the top as it is. For solidago, you're going to remove the bottom pieces because we don't want that down into the foam. You're going to save those for later, don't get rid of them. Take your foam out of the preservative water and we're going to put it into our cup. So just kind of eyeball the shape of the cup and cut diagonally down with your knife. Insert it into the cup. It doesn't have to go clear to the bottom. We don't want it to be too skinny on the bottom, but it does need to be most of the way in, and make sure it's secure. Use your knife to bevel the edges and make it fit in that cup a little bit better. Beveling those edges also gives you more surface area to put more flowers into. Then you're going to take 2 pieces of anchor tape and secure the foam to the cup. You're going to put the anchor tape in 2 parallel lines like that. Next, you're going to assemble your popcorn box, then stick your cup down in there. All right, let's get arranging. We're going to start with our roses because they're our main flower. So we're going to stick one right in the center. Then we're going to put the other 2 kind of at an angle on either side. And we want to kind of make these in a triangle shape. And we want to cut the stems about the same length that our wire is. So we're going to stick those down in there in a triangle shape. Next, we're going to add our carnations. I'm going to cut the carnations about the same length that we cut the roses. They are going to get trimmed down from here because we want the roses to stand out. We don't want them any taller. Make sure you pet your carnations open to make sure it's nice and full. And trim the carnations as needed. I'm going to stick one in the front, kind of at an angle, and I'm going to stick one in the back in the same spot just to make it symmetrical. I'm going to stick one on the right and one on the left. This arrangement will most likely be a one-sided arrangement. If you wanted to make this a 360-degree arrangement, you could also put an extra carnation in the back, but I'm sticking our 5th carnation just kind of down the front as a focal point. We're going to add our leather leaf next, so I'm going to take just the tip of the leather leaf that we cut off and put those around the cup in kind of a triangular shape. Then the bat wings, even though it's one stem, they have a lot of coverage area because they're so wide. So we're going to stick those down in the middle because we want to cover up as much of our mechanics as possible. The mechanics are things like our foam, our tape, our cup. We don't want any of that to be showing. So use those bat wings to cover what you can. You'll probably use every single piece of the leather leaf that you have. If you do need extra, we do have lots of extra, but this should pretty well cover what you need to cover. Next comes Solidago. So we might have to take a few more of those little pieces off, but we're gonna stick this down. This is our filler flower, so we're gonna fill in any gaps. I see a big gap to the right of that carnation, and I'm gonna stick another piece to the left of that carnation as well. Adding that filler flower really starts to make this arrangement come together. And I think I'm gonna take the next big piece and put kind of in the front. There's a big hole there. We don't want any holes. All those little pieces of Solidago that you stripped off, you can pull off any of the foliage and also stick those down in there to help cover your mechanics and add some color and texture all around the arrangement. It's good to turn your arrangement around so you can see it from all sides. Next, I'm going to grab some pieces of that baby's breath and add in there, and you can see just adding that other color really starts to pull it all together. Like I said earlier, you could also use some blue thistle here. I think that would be really pretty as well. But I do think the yellow carnations and white baby's breath kind of do make it look popcorn-like. So make sure you clean up your stuff. If you have any extra usable pieces, put them in the flower hospital, and make sure you spray with Crown and Glory, and it's all set to go.